Hello and welcome to my channel, The Future Empress. My name is Anna and today I'm gonna do the Avengers Book Tag. So I recently just finished marathoning all the Marvel movies. That's why I thought it was so fitting to do this tag now, since I just finished my rewatch. I just love all the movies and it includes Ant-Man, even though I refused to watch it before this rewatch of all the Marvel movies. So this was originally created by SuperSpaceChick and I'm gonna link her video down below in the description box along with all the questions. And also I just wanted to do this tag because Black Widow was pushed to April 2021. So we aren't getting any new Marvel movies during 2020. So I thought to hype up the movies in another way, I would just do the Avengers Book Tag. And yeah, let's just get into it. So the first prompt is Iron Man / Tony Stark, and that is a book that made you laugh out loud. I'm gonna go with a weird one because I chose The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. I only have the Dust Jacket because I'm currently reading this one. But this is the second book in the Raven Boys series, and the reason this book makes me laugh out loud is just because I adore Ronan's character and how snarky he is and just his side comments, and they just make me laugh. And there's also just scenes that include him that aren't supposed to be funny but I find funny. There's a particular scene where he's with his brothers in church and I couldn't stop laughing because he is an exceptional character and I really adore him. The second prompt is Captain America / Steve Rogers, a book that sends a positive message. And for that one I'm gonna go with Coraline by Neil Gaiman. So I just recently read this. I read this during Halloween and I loved it. I just loved the message that Neil Gaiman was trying to tell with this story. And that message was that even though you're scared of doing something, you gather up your courage and do the right thing either way. And that was just so beautiful, and I think this is the best message to send children with a spooky story along with it. It's very spooky and creepy, but I think it is a good book to read for your kids, and I am definitely gonna be reading this to some future kids in the future. The third prompt is Black Widow / Natasha Romanov, a book with a kick-butt female character. So for this one, it's probably not gonna come as a surprise for you if you've been following along with my videos this year, but I am gonna choose The Rise of Kyoshi by F.C. Yee. So you would think I would choose Kyoshi because she is a kick-ass butt female character. However, she's a lot clumsier and she is just getting into training her abilities in this book. So the one I am choosing is Ranji from this book because Ranji is a kick-ass female character from the beginning of this book, and she is just so amazing and fierce, and I would not want to be in a one-on-one combat against her because I would lose. I would also lose against Kyoshi, but honestly no one can beat Ranji in this book. The fourth prompt is Hawkeye / Clint Barton, an underrated book that you wish more people would pay attention to. For that one I chose Frontlines by Michael Grant. This is one of my all-time favorite books, but I've not seen a single soul on BookTube read this book. I know Michael Grant has a large audience outside of BookTube and there's a lot of people reading them, but I have not seen a person on BookTube hyping it up. So this is young adult historical fiction, or rather an alternate history historical fiction, where in the Second World War, women in America was also enlisted into the war. And it's about 3 or 4 women who is in the American army fighting against the Nazis. And it's just so good and so well done. And you're following these different 3 girls. There's Rio, who is, I would say, the main character in this. And then we have Franklin, who is a black girl who wants to be a medic. And then I don't remember her name, but we have the third person and she is Jewish and she is a spy against the Nazis, and it is just such an incredible story. There are 3 books in this series, and this could also go for like a female kick-ass character because these three girls are so strong and they are such an inspiration, and they go through shit, and it's not light to read. It's so hard, but it's so good. And I really hope that at some time BookTube will discover this series and hype it up as much as I want it to be hyped up. The fifth prompt is Hulk / Bruce Banner, a book that made you incredibly angry. And my pick isn't technically a book that made me incredibly angry, because I rarely feel such a strong angry emotion. However, I was very annoyed while I read this, and that is P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. It is more the main character that annoyed me, and her decisions and her choices and what she ended up doing with the things that was thrown at her. And I get it, she's a teenager and she grows in the last book. However, it was hard to get through the second book, because this is the second book of the P.S. I Still Love You series. I gave the first one 3 out of 5 stars and I enjoyed it. The main character still annoyed me, but not as quite as he did in this book. I gave this one 2 out of 5 stars and I didn't enjoy it as much, but the third one I also gave 3 out of 5 stars, because I could see some character development and she grew up from being the annoying person that she is in this book and was a bit more responsible in the third. But yeah, technically not a book that made me angry, but it made me very annoyed. The sixth prompt is Thor, which is a book with a character whose strength you admired. And this character in here is always gonna be my answer to questions like this, because it's Katniss from the Hunger Games. Katniss Everdeen is just such a strong person, and throughout this series she goes through so much, and even like you see her break down at some points, but she always gets back up again, and that's a true inspiration. And I really just admire her strength and all the shit she has to deal with, and she does not give up, and that is incredibly admirable. And now we have a bonus round, which is Loki, a book with a twist or a surprise that tricked you. And I'm gonna go with His and Hers by Alice Feeney. I know a mystery thriller is supposed to be plot twisty or surprising. However, I just want to say that this is the first book that I have read that I didn't at least suspect the actual killer at one point. There's a lot of plot twist in this, and they are so well done that you don't see them coming. In the end, when you finally discover who the murderer actually is, I had never thought to suspect this person, and I don't know if that's just me. However, I thought this was a book that tricked me, because I had suspected all the other people in this book at least once, and then it was just so surprising that the one person I thought would never do it actually was the one who did it. And that is just amazing to me, to be honest. So that's it for this tag. I hope you enjoyed watching and see you next time. Bye!